You need to shake this off. You need to let this all go, and you need to take care of yourself. And I'm not leaving here until you get with it.
Speak Easy Studios. Speak and be heard.
What effect does stress have on your life? How does it affect your relationships? What about your business? My name is Lynn Lessell of It's Why, and my clients call me the identity coach because they discover how to take back control of who they want to be and how they react to stress. This message needed to get out to a larger group of people, so I created a group that helps people identify and manage the stress they never realized they had. We're going to explore questions that challenge you to find your inner power that got buried so deep within because of that stress, and take back control of the situations that caused that stress in your daily life. A small change can make the biggest difference. You make the difference. I'm Lynn Lessell, and I'm known as the identity coach. I founded It's Why and a recent group that I developed called Inner Power Partners. With It's Why, I became a certified health and life coach, and I help individuals neutralize the invisible stress that has become so chronic they don't even see it, but it causes them to ignore themselves. And I realized that I need to get that message to a larger group. So I have created a group, Inner Power Partners, that started out really with 3 people other than myself in one city and expanded to 3 cities later on. Those are professionals that are really looking for work-life balance. And the reality is, through their identities, can develop the quality that they want in all areas of their life. And that's what we try to accomplish in Inner Power Partners. We reduce stress, share expertise, and really provide each other with unlimited support, because that really helps us grow in all areas that we want to have the quality in. I started It's Why as a health and life coach because of my own life journey. And stress was something that was present in my life from the time I was 5 years old. And unknowingly, over that life journey of stress, my health was consistently affected, my physical health, aside from my mental health. And my beliefs that there were no options, my beliefs that I had no choices, my beliefs that I was destined to live that for worse, those health issues, live the stress, just exist every day, made me passionate to help other people when I finally figured out that that was all not true. So I set out to help individuals like myself so that they understood that they're not alone. They do have a choice, and taking care of their emotional health is the most important thing to having physical health. I worked in the healthcare system for many, many years in various different offices and spoke to so many patients who said, I can't take care of myself. I need a quick fix. I have to do this. I have to go to work. I have to take care of my kids. I have to support my family. I have to help my parents. And somehow I used to be that person who believed that you couldn't have both. You couldn't fuel yourself and make your own choices and be that to everybody else. Oh, hitting rock bottom sucks. There's really no other way to say it. And as many times as I might have fallen and come back, hitting rock bottom really made me feel like there was no purpose for my life. There was no reason to get up in the morning. Nobody else really needed me. What was everything that I worked so hard for meant to be? It was awful. I felt lost. I felt alone. In a 5-year period, I lost people in my life. I lost my dad. I lost my brother. I lost my marriage. I lost my dog. And then I lost the most important person of all. I lost myself. So rock bottom is when you've lost a sense of self. It was a long climb back from that. It was hard. But it was really thanks to a dear friend in my life that I had probably known since our kids were in diapers. And I hadn't seen her for a long time. And I spoke to how lost I was. And she got in her car and hit the highway, showed up at my front door and banged it down till I opened the door, and literally hit me in the back of the head and said, "You need to shake this off. You need to let this all go, and you need to take care of yourself. And I'm not leaving here until you get with it, because this is not acceptable." And for anybody listening, I'm just going to say, I'm kind of keeping it clean. So I was forced to stay in that conversation because she was in a sit-in in my little studio apartment. And I got to the point where I said out loud, "You know what? I've taken care of everybody my whole life, and I've always been there for everybody and anybody, no matter what they needed, and nobody's there for me. I'm all alone. Well, guess what? I'll show them. I'm going to bleep, 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 take care of myself for the first time in my life." And I said that out loud. And when I heard myself say that, that was it. I realized that I never, ever considered that taking care of myself was a possibility. Oh, sure. I showered every day. I brushed my teeth. I put myself together, makeup, accessories, great clothes, all that stuff. But I was a shell because I was just really an exterior for what got buried so deep down inside, I didn't even recognize it. I'm not really sure I ever had time before 5 years old to even figure out who that was. But that person was really buried deep inside. And so when I figured out that I could not care what anybody thought of me and I could be who I wanted to be, that I didn't have to live through expectations, except the expectations I had of myself, everything changed and everything got better. And that's a message that I want to share with other people, because when I look back at the life that I was living before, when I look back, I say, how did I not know this before? How did I not see any of this before? Because I always allowed the expectations that I thought other people had of me to matter more than what was best for me. And that doesn't make you selfish. To be honest with you, who I am today because of all of that and all that change, who I am presents a person that people look at as even more caring and even more trusting and even more capable than they thought I was before. And when people share any of that with me, my response is, I'm just being me. It's very simple. I'm just being me. And the most important part of that, which is something that I'd really like to share and one of the reasons why I think my clients call me the identity coach is that inner power that gets buried so deep, I think we're all born with what I'll refer to as emotional DNA. We all know what physical DNA is. It cultivates what we're going to look like, what our hair color is, what our eye color is, maybe our facial features, maybe how tall we are, how short we are. But you know what? Our emotional DNA is the foundation of everything we become, depending on how we cultivate it, just like our health. Our physical DNA can change depending on how we take care of our physical self. But our physical self really depends on how we take care of our emotional self. It's all here. It's all here. And so we all start out with an emotional foundation, that emotional DNA. For those of you who have heard a more common phrase, it's your personal why. So it's why everything gets better when you tap in to that emotional DNA, that personal why, that inner power. And when you share your inner power with somebody else's inner power, everything is possible. You can't have a negative without a positive. So there's always more. There's always something. We may not always like the choices that we get to make, and sometimes it may seem like they just plain suck. But the truth is you always have a choice. And whatever choice you make, regardless of whether they seem awful in the moment, you always get to make another choice with the results that come from that. So we can always make choices. It may seem like it's zigging and zagging or going up and down, but eventually you make a choice that serves you. And you needed all of those little steps and choices and shifts and turns or zigs and zags or ups and downs to get you to where you want to be. But I figured out the right questions to ask myself, and I got over to that other side and discovered that it absolutely is possible and everything in life gets better. So I set out to try and help more people. And I started getting out there and meeting a lot of different people. And I found the more people I met, the more they said, I can't because I have to do something else that takes up my day. And I found that a lot of these people were people who were working adults, many of them working parents, just like myself. And I said, I cannot accept this I can't because I have to song. I have to change the lyrics. And I set out for a message. I needed to spread a message. And I decided, as difficult as it seemed to be, I started asking people that I talked to, what's stress costing your business? And I discovered that the average person is very likely willing to invest in their business way faster than they will invest in themselves. And so if stress was affecting their business, they really wanted to be able to conquer that. So I did some research before I launched Inner Power Partners. And I found out that a global study showed that 60% of the population surveyed around the globe said they felt used up by the end of the day. They didn't feel as productive and effective as they'd like to be, and they didn't have support. So my goal was to bring Inner Power Partners together, have them really cultivate that inner power that they have, and let them see that you do have choices, and you can choose yourself, and you can have support, and you can reduce that stress. And all of that leads to you being the person you were meant to be. And your inner power takes you through every area of your life. So I started it with a small group, and the message caught on way faster than I expected it to. We just celebrated our first birthday. We're in 4 cities, and we're going to be building out 2 new locations in the next couple of months. I expect this to eventually go outside the geographic area and expand even into the virtual space a lot sooner than I ever thought I could. But my mission is to help people know that they're not alone. They do have the right to make their own choices, and they can have support. You can write your own destiny. Destiny doesn't have to choose you. If you feel like you're existing and not living, you can love your life again and take back the control of it. That's the lesson I learned, and I want to help other people, whether it's through individuals that I work with or through Inner Power Partners and the growth of this group. I want people to recognize that message. It's possible, and you can do it, and you're not alone. I started this podcast to expand my reach like I'm helping others expand theirs, because this message is too important to my local geographic area. There are so many people out there in so many places, not just in neighboring states, not across the states, but across the world. And I have connections in so many different countries, in so many different places, in so many different states, that it's important for me to help the local people. But I think it's too important a message. And in light of the last few years, I think regardless of what culture you come from, regardless of what country you live in, regardless of what beliefs you may follow, everybody is dealing with some sort of stress. And I think we're all trying to navigate the same thing. We want to have a quality family life, a quality work life, and live our best life. And that's a message that needs to go far and wide. So I'm going to hope that through this podcast, I can reach more and more people that are further and further away, so that they can tap into their emotional DNA and find their best personal why and create the identity that they were meant to have and release that inner power. So any of you that have been listening today, I want to say thank you, because if you're hearing this thank you, you've hung in there with me this whole time. If any of the things that I've shared rings true for you, if you know somebody who may have gone through similar things, or you're just asking yourself, is it possible that there's something that I don't know about myself that could help me get to where I want to be? The most important thing I think I want everybody to understand here is that you don't have to acknowledge that you have a problem or that something is wrong. You just have to want to be able to make your own choices and have something better. You may be reaching a goal. Maybe it's something simple and you want to be success in your business. Maybe you're looking to shed 5 pounds. You have a special dress you want to wear for a special event coming up. Maybe you just want to find that perfect person to share your life with. It doesn't matter what has you stressed. When it becomes chronic, it becomes invisible. So if there could be something that you don't know, please reach out and let's have a conversation. Just a conversation, just a chat. In that one conversation, I'm confident that I'll be able to ask you one question that'll help you make the slightest discovery that you'll either be able to take it and run with it, or you'll want to do some deeper work. The bottom line is, when you leave this podcast recording today, please just hone in on my message. No one is alone. Everyone has choices, and everyone deserves to live a quality lifestyle. Thank you for listening. If you want to reach me, you can look me up on itzwhy.com. That's ITZWHY. You do the slightest little thing and it makes a big difference. Or you can reach me at innerpowerpartners.com. You can also reach me at Lynn, Lynn, at itzwhy.com. Thank you again for listening. I look forward to every conversation I get to have with any of you that reach out. And please, if you're not ready to chat, tune in for our next episode.